That Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer broke viewership records. So let's talk about all the characters we're going to see in this movie. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I am ranking the Spider-Man Brand New Day characters that we've seen in the trailer so far based on how excited I am to see them in the movie. Now, I have about 11 characters here. I grabbed an image of them from the trailer. There are some actors who have been cast in this movie. We just haven't seen any of them yet. There are also some people who we have sort of an inkling, an idea of who they might be playing from the trailer. I included them on this list. But I've got 11 of the characters from the trailer that we know are in this movie, ranking them by excitement. So be sure to hit that like button, comment down below what characters you're the most excited to see in this movie, and of course, subscribe to that notification bell to help reach my goal of 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. It will mean quite a bit. But I got my tier list right here. I'm ready to go, so let's do this thing. The tiers I have are beyond hype, I'm excited, I'm curious, and I don't care. Now, these again are about 11 of the characters from the movie, and I'm ranking them based on how excited I'm feeling right now in this moment after the official trailer dropped to see them in this movie. First up, we've got Bruce Banner, who of course is the Hulk. I don't know if he's gonna Hulk out, but I feel like if you put Banner in a movie, you gotta see him go full Hulk at some point. What I do find fascinating based on the trailer is it seems like Peter's going to him for like scientific advice as to maybe why Peter is dealing with certain issues, maybe why his DNA is changing, it kind of seems, and why he maybe has this organic webbing now. But of course, no one remembers who Peter Parker is, so he really doesn't know who Peter is, even though Peter's identity was revealed to the world at one point. Doctor Strange's spell, of course, is still intact, and so he does not know who Peter Parker is. Now, I'm going to say I'm excited to see Banner. If he hulks out, hell yeah, but it could be the route where we just see him as a professor. It almost seems like he's at, I believe, ESU, Empire State, as like a guest lecturer, or maybe he's working as a part-time professor there. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but because of the time jump and because it's post-college, Peter is not a student there. It almost seems like he buys that little hoodie or sweatshirt he's wearing, sneaks into a class just to try and ask Banner some questions. So interested to see. I'm excited, but I'm not like beyond hyped. I need this character now. Next up, we have Boomerang, who's a villain we get a real brief glimpse at. It's a really sick shot of Spidey swinging, and there's boomerangs all around trying to cut up the webbing. I would say I'm curious because I have a feeling this character won't be in the movie for long, might not even have any lines. It could just be an instance of an opening montage, right? That's kind of my theory, is this movie's going to open and show the passage of time from No Way Home to Brand New Day over the 4 years. And so we're going to see Spidey facing off against, you know, a bunch of different villains, kind of comparable to the opening of the Fantastic Four First Steps, except more expanded upon and maybe longer, which I wish was done with that movie, First Steps. But this character intrigues me. I'm curious, but I don't think he's going to have that big of a role, honestly. Next, we have Frank Castle's Punisher. If you know me, you know I love me some Punisher. I'm beyond hyped to see this character. Actually getting to see Bernthal, you know, in the movie, I should say, because we've seen him in the role recently in Born Again, but to see him in a movie with Spider-Man interacting, it was perfect. I love the way that they sort of got around the mature R rating of this character by having Spider-Man do his quips. You know, Frank Castle's about to say mother effer, and boom, Spidey shoots a web to his mouth and cuts him off. Mother. We still see him run over Spider-Man with his van and shoot at him, so there's bad blood between them, but I think it's all in jest. I don't know how serious it's really going to get, but I also love just the dynamic between them already, how Spider-Man calls him Frank. You need to get out of here. It shows that there are street-level heroes like Punisher in this world, potentially others as well, and even villains. Like, that's what I love. It feels like classic Spider-Man, where the world is expanded. There are heroes and villains roaming around. Spidey's there, of course, but it's New York City. It's a big city with lots of heroes and villains in the cinematic universe, and this movie's going to make it feel very lived in, but I'm beyond hyped to see Punisher make his big screen debut in the MCU, at least. Next, we have Ned, who is, of course, Peter's best friend, who does not remember him, and so I wonder if the spell might be reversed at some point in this film, even if that's just for a brief period of time or if it's forever. We'll see. I'm gonna say I'm curious about Ned in this movie. Is he going to remember Peter by the end of the film? I'll ask the same question with MJ, of course, but will they also maybe take him the villainous route, right? We know that Ned could take a dark turn at some point. Will they go like the Hobgoblin route with him? We've seen in all the previous iterations of Spider-Man, his best friend in Harry Osborn typically turn to a villainous role at some point with, you know, Dane DeHaan in the TASM movies, or the second one, I should say, and then James Franco in the Raimi trilogy. Will that happen with Ned? Are they going to set him up to have a villainous turn in the future Spider-Man films? I'm curious for sure. Next, an interesting one. I've got a whole group of characters here because these look like they are all characters from The Hand, which of course is a heavy focus in Daredevil Season 2, the original run of Daredevil, not Born Again. Are they going to be in this film and have a prominent role? I ask that question because if so, does that open the door for Daredevil to join the season? We know Punisher's here. Is Daredevil also going to be involved? Are we going to somehow see Kingpin involved? There are lots of questions I ask with that that. I'm going to say I'm curious about this. I'm going to go top of curious because if they bring the hand in, that kind of means Daredevil's got to come in as well. If you look at this shot that I pulled the picture from, it's very comparable to the final shot of the No Way Home trailer where Spider-Man is swinging at some iconic past villains, but like Lizard's head moves and you're like, they clearly edited someone out. There's too much room on the left side of the frame where we see Spidey swinging. It looks like there should be some heroes under him. It's one of those Daredevil swinging with his nunchucks. Is one of them Punisher? Is Hulk there? That's the question I ask, and I'm really curious to see how the Hand, if that is the Hand organization, could be incorporated into the story. Next up, we've got Tarantula. This is a Spider-Man villain who we briefly see. Again, my theory here is that it's going to be in part of a montage. Tarantula won't have a huge role in the film. I think we're just going to see a lot of these villains fighting Spider-Man, you know, over the years during the passage of time. I'm going to say I'm curious. I'll go right here. I'm maybe more intrigued by this character than Boomerang, but it's kind of a tie. Just to see some Spidey villains, more like deep cuts who aren't represented in a lot of other live-action media, or frankly, at all. To see them in the MCU, why not? Bring it on. Then we got Spider-Man himself. I'm beyond hyped to see him back. He's got organic webbing in this film. He's dealing with some mental demons. It seems like someone's playing mind games on him. More on that later. I'm beyond hyped. I'm going right here at the top. I mean, Spider-Man, it's his movie. We haven't seen Tom Holland in this role since No Way Home at the end of 2021. We're long overdue for Spider-Man to be back in our lives on the big screen. This movie, I wish, came out years ago, but we had to wait almost 5 years, and I hope the wait is worth it. I'm beyond hyped to see him back. Tom Holland owns the role, and he has the potential to cement himself as the undisputed best live-action Spider-Man with this movie. My ranking of live-action Spideys changes all the time. At one point in time, I've had Andrew at the top, Toby at the top, Tom at the top. It literally rotates often because opinions change, and I think they're all just so fantastic for different reasons. This movie could cement him as the GOAT, though. We'll see. We'll see. Next, we have a currently unnamed character that many are speculating is Paul, seemingly MJ's new love interest or boyfriend. He's actually played by the same actor who plays Ezra in Star Wars. Honestly, no, I don't care about this guy. He seems like a bum to me. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a hater here. I don't care about Paul. I want MJ and Peter to get back together. Is that possible? Maybe, maybe not. Will MJ remember? We'll talk about MJ in a second. I don't think I care about this guy. He seems like the Brad of this movie. If you remember Brad, he's kind of a throwaway character from Spider-Man Far From Home. This might be our new Brad, and I don't want that, so I don't care. Next, we have a unknown character, or should I say Jean Grey, maybe, played by Sadie Sink. It's very clear this is going to be Sadie Sink's character. There is a set photo of her in a hood, so we kind of know this is probably her, but we don't know much else. However, based on context clues, based on the trailer, based on someone playing mind games on various characters, and specifically the shot of Peter where his eyes go black, it has me thinking this is probably going to be Jean Grey, and almost all the speculation and rumors online are pointing to the fact that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey and that this hooded figure from the trailer is her. If this is true, I am beyond hyped. I'm put her up there right now, right here alongside these two, because if so, that means that Sadie Sink is coming into the MCU not just for this movie, but for the future. They're setting up the future with this move. Jean Grey is one of the leaders of the X-Men at the end of the day. She's a pivotal character to those films, and so she could play a role in the MCU for the next decade. Literally the next 10 years, she could play a role. She's already been cast in either Doomsday or Secret Wars, one of the two upcoming Avengers films, so she's going to play a role there. She's playing a role in this Spider-Man movie. I'm beyond hyped because not only to see her in this movie, right? That's going to be cool to see Sadie Sink, an actress who plays Max in my favorite show of all time, Stranger Things, to see her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, bring it on. But at the same time, we're going to get to see her in the future of Marvel, which excites me maybe even more. But I can't wait to see her. I hope they reveal her in the trailer. She's one of the top billed actresses. I think that, it'd be good to spread the word that she's in this movie. So as we get closer to release, I hope we get a glimpse of her. Maybe not fully as Jean Grey. They can save that reveal for the movie, but we could at least see Sadie Sink's face in the next trailer, I'd hope. But I'm beyond hyped for her role. Next, we have Tramell, Tillman's character, who we don't have a name for, but shout out Mr. Milchick from Severance. I'm going to say I'm curious here because of his performance in Severance straight up. There's so much mystery to that character, so many layers to him. He operates in that gray area. Is this character going to be comparable, or is this going to be more of one of your generic, like, government agency characters that we see in Marvel, where he doesn't really get to shine with his acting chops? That's a concern of mine. So I'm going to say I'm curious about him. I'm going to put him, like, right here, probably. The Hand excites me a little more, but I'm curious for sure to see what his role in the movie is and if he gets to show off his acting chops, and maybe if he's revealed at the end to be a bigger villain, Spider-Man movies like to do that often. We had Michelle Jones, played by Zendaya in Homecoming, and then it's like, oh, you can call me MJ. They set her up at the end of that movie. Is this going to be a situation where we don't know who he is, and then maybe his real identity is revealed at the end? We're like, oh crap, he's going to be that person in the future of Spider-Man. Because you don't just cast Tramell Tillman for a one-off role, right? He's got to have a future presence in Marvel and in Spider-Man especially. I imagine we're going to get more Tom Holland films, like probably another trilogy, so he might have a role in those. We shall see. Next, we have MJ, played by Zendaya. I'm excited to see her back. I'm going to put her right here. It's just good to see Zendaya back in the role. For a long time after No Way Home, I thought we wouldn't see Ned and MJ again. I thought they were going to move on, but then I realized they're some of the biggest characters from the Spider-Man franchise. You got to have them back. And I like the dynamic they're taking where, you know, Peter is like writing this letter and he's like maybe going to try and tell MJ, hey, I was like in love with you and you were in love with me, but you don't remember that, but I am Spider-Man also. Like, is he going to have that moment where he tells her? I'd imagine maybe the rooftop scene from the trailer is that moment where he actually finally tells MJ who he is, and whether or not she can remember or find something in her heart, you know, some emotion or feeling from past life and remember that, only time will tell. But the spell could be reversed. If Jean Grey is in this movie, she can play mind games on people, mind control. Could she reverse the spell? Could she, you know, revert things back to where they once were just for MJ and Ned? What kind of impact would that have on everyone else? Who knows? That's something that could definitely play around with in this movie, though. And so I'm excited to see her back. And of course, Zendaya and Tom Holland's chemistry is off the charts because they are, I believe they're actually married in real life now. So come on. And finally here, we've got Scorpion, played by Michael Mando. I have been clamoring for this man to come back into the MCU ever since the post-credit scene of Homecoming, where he was teased as we saw him with Vulture in prison, and then we never saw him again. And we're finally getting him in the year 2026, nearly a decade later, folks. We won. This is one of those Marvel Cinematic Universe post-credit scenes that was a loose end. Now they can tie that up, because he's back. And he looks great. Love the look of him in the trailer. The suit design was sick. I hope he has a bigger role than, say, Tarantula or Boomerang. I hope he's not just one of the villains that's montaged through. I'm on the fence about if that's going to be the case or not, but I really hope that he's like the B villain in the movie, and then whoever the big bad villain is revealed in the movie or the trailer. But I'm ready. I am very excited. I would say, honestly, for me, I'm going top of excited, close to beyond hype. I'm right there. I need this man, and just to see him in the MCU for real as Scorpion this time, not just teased as Scorpion, in the Scorpion suit. Give it to me. Scorpion is an iconic Spider-Man villain, especially I'm thinking of the games. I love the portrayal of the character there. And so, yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited. And just if I need to fill the void until this movie comes out, I can just go watch Nacho Vargas, scene from season 6 of Better Call Saul. That is, by the way, I didn't mention that. From Better Call Saul, phenomenal show. And there's a moment with this character, Nacho, played by Michael Mando, just unreal acting. Check it out. If you've seen Better Call Saul, you know. But yeah, that does it for my tier list ranking of Spider-Man brand new day characters based on how excited I am to see them in the movie. I hope I can add more characters to this tier list as we get closer to the movie. Maybe when we get the next trailer, we get more character reveals. I know Liza Colón-Zayas from The Bears in this movie, and there's a few other, actors who've been announced for the cast. We just haven't seen them yet. But what do you guys think? How are you feeling? Who are you the most excited to see in this movie? Are there any characters on this list you're like, don't care, I'm not interested, don't care, whatever? Let me know down below, and of course, hit that like button, subscribe into that notification bell, and be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.